In your Spanish classes, you learned that R has two sounds, right? A soft sound as in cámara, primavera, even my own name, Victoria. If you're new here, hi, nice to meet you. And a strong sound, the one you probably spent hours practicing and still struggle with, rojo. Enrique, otorrinolaringólogo.
Otorrinolaringólogo?
No, it's otorrinolaringólogo.
Then one day you're listening to your favorite Bad Bunny's playlist and you notice something weird.
Voy a llevarte pa' PR, mami, pa' que veas cómo es que se perrea. Tráete a tu amiga si te gusta la idea. Dile que esta noche vamos a hangueal. Qué rico la vamos a pasar. Aquí nadie se va a casar, pero tú te vas a querer quedar.
You're like, wait, why is he saying llevalte, hangueal, querel? In Spanish, that phonetic phenomenon where a sound, in this case the R sound, turns into an L has a name. We call it lambdacismo, and it's a very distinctive feature of Caribbean Spanish. The same way you can totally guess where I'm from the minute I open my mouth and say, yo me llamo Victoria. Y vos? You can do the exact same thing here. If you hear someone say things like amol, beldad, talde, they're probably from places like Puerto Rico, República Dominicana, Cuba, even Panama. Now, if the R sound turns into an L, how come Bad Bunny says Puerto Rico and not Puerto Lico? This change usually affects the R's at the end of a syllable or the ones that are right before another consonant, which is the case of Puerto. The R is placed before a T. In Rico, however, the R is in the beginning of the word and is not before a consonant either, so it keeps its trill sound, Rico. At this point, you might be wondering, where does this come from? And is this correct Spanish? I'm going to answer these questions in just a second, but before I do, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. There are many theories that try to explain why this happens. The most widely accepted one points to the influence of Andalusian and Canarian Spanish in the Caribbean during colonial times. What's especially interesting about this theory is that in Eastern Andalusia, lambdacismo is quite common, but in Western Andalusia, you find the exact opposite pattern. Instead of turning R into L, speakers turn L into R, a phenomenon known as rotacismo. So if you go there on a holiday and hear argo instead of algo or último instead of último, now you know why. The second theory also takes us back to colonial times, but this time linked to slavery. If you think about it, millions of enslaved Africans speaking a wide range of languages were taken to the Caribbean, and many of these languages didn't necessarily have the R sound, and the closest equivalent was L. Over time, the contact between these languages and Spanish may have created a new pronunciation pattern. The thing is, we can't really attribute such a complex linguistic phenomenon to a single cause. Remember that language is shaped by many factors all at once: migration, contact, social dynamics, time, and that's why many people have a more balanced point of view and say, well, actually, it could be a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And once you understand why things are the way they are, the next question is this actually correct Spanish? Yes, absolutely. This feature is part of the linguistic identity of the Caribbean people. So it's my sh, or the different ways people pronounce C, S, and Z across Spain. Real Spanish, and by this I mean Spanish people speaking real life, has many different flavors. And as a student, the best thing you can do is to expose yourself to all kinds of Spanish: Argentinian, Peruvian, Mexican, Dominican. Even if it sounds weird at first, your ears are getting used to something new. And here a little story time for you. When I moved to Liverpool and heard the Scouse accent for the first time, I freaked out because it was so hard to understand people. Oh my god. But you know what? I kept listening, I kept interacting, I kept exposing myself. And after almost 7 years, I can say that unless I meet someone with a very, very thick accent, I can understand everyone. So I totally encourage you to listen to music and podcasts, to watch TV shows and series from different places. If you have the means, please travel to different countries, talk to the locals, have fun. And if you want to learn more about Puerto Rican slang and history, I'll leave a couple of videos linked right there. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to my patrons for sponsoring this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao, ciao!